Yeah, so first of all, in our journey, I don't think we are actually anywhere thinking of certification right now.
Forget it.
Yeah, I don't see my kids sitting with books and preparing for an exam right now. Something which might call them, and if they want to do it, I'm sure they'll figure it out and I'll help. And if I can't help I will ask others to help. The help will come. But that's certainly not at all on our radar.
Agenda.
No way. No. I mean, I don't see that at all. Because, yeah. No. So for me and my kids, that is
Okay.
not there.
But for those who are,
Yeah, so-
what is NIOS and what is the paths and what is?
Yeah, so I think so. For NIOS is basically National Open School,
Okay.
which is which is a which is a body which provides you to take certification through exams if you don't want to be in a school. So they have a curriculum. You take that curriculum and you study that curriculum and you take the exams.
Typically, this takes how long to go through the curriculum?
See, if for a child who is used to sitting with curriculum and studying, it might not be so challenging. But a child who has never done that, it might be a little challenging.
But
one
in
can
terms
go
of
through.
time, we're looking at.
No, I think they have a 10 standard exam and a 12 standard exam. So you pick up the curriculum and you study for a year and you take the
So
exam.
it'll take a year to go through.
Yeah, 6 months to 1. It depends on how fast a learner is, So, yeah, it's like more like a distant education program, right?
Mhm.
So they do have certain contact classes and all in the cities where you can go and attend.
Achha.
Because NIOS, what it does, it ties up with local schools
Mm-hmm.
as their learning partners for contact points. So
And what are the price for these things?
I won't. There's a website NIOS dot. I mean, you could just.
You just Google it.
Yeah. It's
Cheap.
pretty good. It's very reasonable. Hardly anything.
See.
So that's one option, and the other option is the IGCSE, the O level, A levels.
IGCSE.
IGCSE.
Which stands for? We don't. We'll check it out.
Yeah, but it's O levels and A levels. The UK based exams. Yeah, so there is a Swasikshan, so they can do Swasikshan.
SWAS.
SWASHIKSHAN, Swasikshan.
Swasikshan.
That's the Indian Association of Homeschoolers.
This is it.
Yeah.
Indian Association of Homeschoolers, and this is an open forum. It's a website.
Yeah, there is a website which is pretty basic actually.
Okay.
Right now it's on WordPress, but some people are wanting to
Develop it further.
Yeah. And there are forums, discussion forums. So there are Google groups and Facebook groups where you can go and connect with other parents and have discussions, ask questions.
And this is for all India.
And abroad also, anyone can.
Oh, Swasikshan is not Indian specific.
It's formed by the
Yeah.
homeschoolers here.
Yeah, but it's
Some people
open
got
to
together, but it's open to homeschoolers.
because it's on the net. So
Yeah.
now there's no borders
Hmm.
there.
And there is another one which is indiahomeschoolers.ning.com. It's a Ning community online. indiahomeschoolers.ning.com. This one is more difficult to get through because there's a screening. They only want homeschoolers.
Right, like for someone like me who's not yet homeschooling my children.
There are various Facebook forums you can go to.
Right.
So I think when we started homeschooling, it was an exploration which we both got into. In fact, a lot of the impetus was given by him, by my ex-husband, including the book that he got for me, and obviously it called him, that's why he picked it up and he got it for me. Then also the friends that we met were people he knew. So that's how it came, and we were always having these conversations about alternative ways, how to find another way out of school. And to start with, several people that we met, it was an exploration together. And but like I have mentioned earlier, that unschooling, when we started unschooling, it was not just about unschooling. For me personally, it brought up a lot of stuff that was lying repressed within me. And so unschooling was just one starting point for a deeper quest within myself, a deeper seeking as to the unrest and the constant lack of contentment that I felt throughout my life from childhood, as to something was not right. What you could call an existential issue that I started facing with unschooling, because I was deeply questioning, and all that was taken for granted till then in our lives, which is a school, then a job, and then a marriage, and as I started unschooling and extending certain freedom to my children, I also started seeing within me how I had actually not fully explored my potentials as a human being. I had only done what was being done by everybody else. I had knowingly, unknowingly, by my family, by the environment that I grew up in, fell in line with everyone else, doing those things which are done. But with unschooling, for me, a deeper quest started within myself. And with that, what happened is that I started to assert myself more, I think, and started to be more truthful about my needs and desires and myself. And I realized for the longest time, I think I had been living a life which was only half-baked, more than half-baked actually, which is not truthful to my true nature or what was inside my heart. And that I can understand could be a shock to many, because suddenly I was no longer the person everybody knew me to be, which included my husband and my family, right? And I also know that my husband also was doing the same thing all his life. He was not being himself. He was also living a life where we do most things out of fear. So even like relationships, forging relationships out of fear of being alone, putting up an act of something that we are really not, out of fear of being rejected, even to the extent of actually marrying because it's scary to be on your own. So all these things started, and I realized that why was I being not honest with the person that I am with about my true feelings. And at that moment my feelings were saying that I want to go on a self-discovery journey. I want to find out what it is that I really want, which I never did. So a life of inauthenticity, without actually blaming anybody for it, not even blaming myself, because I didn't know better, neither did he.
Correct.
Neither does anybody else. Till you realize that there is something more to this than just what we are doing. So without telling, without blaming anybody, that I was dishonest or not truthful. I didn't even know I was not truthful or dishonest. I was just doing what I thought was right, or because everybody else was doing that. But when I realized that no, this is not what I really want. And this came, I think, with my first foray into alternative education and unschooling, where I started to deeply question what is parenting, what do we do to our children, how do we make them behave in certain ways and kill their need to express what is really happening within themselves, or even don't even give them the tools to express that. They don't even know sometimes. We just tell them this is what is to be done, and they do it most of the time. And we all grow up like that, and even in our adult life, that's what we are doing. We do what is done without questioning our deepest needs and desires and emotions and feelings. So for me, that I think became quite a big thing. And while I'm sure my ex-husband would have loved it to work the way it was always working for both of us, but it was not working for me anymore. I could not anymore be the person that I was for so many years. And it would have been, see, in the hindsight, I can say that we can all say, yeah, it would have been nice if he had understood and he too had given me the space and the time and the freedom, and also done it for himself, because I was wanting him also to explore himself. But there was fear, a lot of fear, and wanting to control, which is natural when you have lived a life which seemed very safe and comfortable, and suddenly everything is shaken. So very trying times, I think it was for me and him. And but we both realized that we cannot coexist anymore as husband and wife, because I was not feeling that for him anymore, and neither was he. So we didn't even, I for example didn't even know anymore what it meant. What is it? What is the meaning of wife? What is the meaning of husband? So these questions were coming in for me. That what is love? When I say I love you, what do I actually mean? Where is it coming from? Am I really feeling it? And what does it mean to feel love? Whether I'm coming from my head or from my heart. So these very deeper questions started, and I needed that self-exploration journey for myself to discover what it means to be in love. What is love? What is self-love? Who am I? What is it that I want? And it is wonderful when the spouses can do this together, holding each other through this. But sometimes it doesn't happen. Yeah, so I think it's fair to part ways without holding each other back, and take our own paths of however difficult it is, separation. But staying together would have been more violent on each other, on ourselves, and on the kids, because we were just being quite abusive to each other. So it was in the best interest of, I feel, for me, him, and the kids that we at that moment separate. Yeah. So, but today, what happens whenever some crisis happens, we look for a reason to put all the onus on. So at that moment, the biggest thing was unschooling. So I think even in our marriage, everything got attributed to that. Because of unschooling, this happened. Because of unschooling, you guys separated. Because of unschooling, you guys were having disagreements. But the fact is, unschooling brought up everything that was already lying in our marriage for so many years. And we were probably just towing each other's lines by pleasing each other, not really living our truth. And so yeah, now I think it's been like 2010 is when we kind of separated. The divorce came in 2012, I think. 2012, yeah, early 2012, the official divorce. And I think now we are, my ex-husband and I have reached a place where we are able to honor each other for who we are. That he's able to honor me for the path that I am walking on, and I am able to honor him for the path that he's walking on, which is what we each wanted for ourselves. And it's very different, but not to put each other down for choosing to do what we have chosen to do. And I feel as far as the kids are concerned, I think it was very clear that he felt that, he also felt and I also felt that kids need to be with me because with the mother, and so he's there with me because he chose a life which is corporate, high-flying job. Where is the time for kids? So and because I was into it already, so much into children and nurturing children and unschooling, so it was very natural for me to be the principal caregiver and parent. And today when he interacts with the children, I think there's been a lot of forgiveness and moving on in that sense. He's got remarried and they're having their baby. And when he interacts with the children, he's able to appreciate the fact that they're sure of themselves, they're grounded in themselves. And while he finds it difficult sometimes to understand why they are not living like a very set life where you wake up in the morning and you do this and then you have set timings for things, or why there is so much exposure to internet, all that. But I am in a position more now to have non-violent communication with him, where I'm able to ask him about what his discomforts are, which I also do with my kids, I shared. So when those triggers get pressed within him, I instead of taking a role of opposition, I try to be a partner to him and try to support him in understanding what his discomfort is. I support him to understand his children more. I support him to get into their world more. And also I support him to express his discomforts to his children, which is also very important. If the children are expressing there, he should also be able to do that in freedom rather than in the blame game. I think it's working for us that we are able to tell each other that, hey, I am not comfortable with this. Then we have a dialogue. So now it is more dialogue rather than confrontation. That was the case when we were married. So I think the space that we have given ourselves to live authentically has also given us the confidence to face each other from a place of equality and equanimity and balance. So I would say that we are more authentically connected now than we ever were when we were married. Okay. We are able to fearlessly communicate with each other, which was not the case when we were married. So yeah, while it is always sad when people separate, but that sadness had to be, I guess, lived through to find true and authentic love for each other and respect for each other in our hearts, as human beings, not as husband wife, but as two human beings. So, so, so I would say, yeah, he doesn't live with us, but he is the co-parent in some ways, even from far away. He's there. I think he's the only person I can fully rely on when it comes to my children, even though he doesn't live with us. Even now, if I have if it is with respect to my kids, I know that there's only one person I will call, and that's their father. So that's the kind of relationship we have now. So, yeah. So he is at a place now where he is very comfortable with them not being in school. That anyway, even he didn't want. He didn't want them to be in school, but he was quite afraid of not following a curriculum and not doing a certain. Still following a structure.
Like the homeschooling.
Yeah, yeah.
He wanted that.
That was his deepest concern actually. But and when I started moving more towards unschooling, uh, there were deep fears in him. Now I guess if our marriage was also strong in that sense, maybe that fear could have been held. But our marriage was also not strong. So that fear could not be held. I mean, a lot of couples I know where mostly they are not on the same page when it comes to homeschooling or unschooling. But because the container of marriage or the relationship is strong and authentic, these differences get eased out over a period of time. Or the woman is, or the two people who are in the marriage are already blossomed into their own selves, instead of living a life which is quite is not truthful and which is conditioned, which is there is fear, there is a lack of courage in oneself. Then what happens is one person or the other dominates and the other just lets go or gives up. But when there is that equal sharing of power in a marriage or a relationship, then these differences get sorted out. People find ways to, you know, work these fears up. Because the fear is not really about unschooling or not unschooling. The fear is about moving out of comfort zones. And those are deep fears of all human beings. So when that gets triggered inside you, unless there is a lot of love and trust in a relationship, it's very difficult to hold it. So I think because our marriage was also not very strong at that point, it was not possible to hold that energy of fear and disagreement and conflict. So at that time, he was okay with homeschooling but not with unschooling. And for me, homeschooling was not working. I just could not make him understand that please trust me. He was not wanting to trust me on this. And it became again a trust issue there, that you are ruining the lives of the kids. And I could not make him understand that if they are your children, they are mine too, and would not want to ruin their lives. But today, I'm talking about like 5 years back. But today, maybe because I stood by my convictions and commitment, today he sees and agrees that while I still have some fears, I think I trust you and I know what you're doing, you know what you're doing, you know. So, and when he interacts with the children and when the children interact with my in-law side of the family, and the kind of feedback that they get about the kids, that kind of validates everything for him. And so there has been a transformation there. So while he is in the corporate world, and he says too late for me to get out of it now. But he said that for the kids, whatever they want to do, I mean, I don't have any issues with that. Whatever they want to do, whatever they want to just, or like he says, if Gaurika just wants to open a tailoring shop, I'm fine with that. If Ishan just wants to backpack around the world and do whatever the hell he wants, I'm okay with that. I have no favorable outcomes in mind for them. And yeah, the fear is there that will they be able to support themselves, but that is a fear which I am also, and he is also learning to live with, the fear of the unknown. So yeah, it's a very different place where he is today from where he was. So yeah, that is. Actually, it's hard to say, what challenges will come up.
Okay.
It's hard to say. But after having gone through so many, I at least have that trust that whatever challenge comes, I will be able to face it. I'll be able to walk through it. And I am also trusting that life will support me in some way. There will be people around me, there will be something, somehow I'll get supported. And also, there is more flexibility in me as a human being, where I am willing to bend a little, move a little, turn a little, because I have given myself so much self-love and validation now that I am now okay to let go certain things. So then the challenges, I don't know what challenges will come, but whatever it is, I am not wanting to be like a tree that doesn't bend. I'm willing to weather the storm by not just standing erect, but also bend and bend the rules, bend myself a little. So that is something which I feel is a new thing in me, which I did not feel then, and that time I didn't have to feel it because I had to stand up for myself. Now it is more like standing up for myself and yet going with the flow, seeing what is the need of the hour, and without any resistance, going with that. So yes, that's a different nuance to it now. So whatever challenge is going to come, I don't know what they might not be even challenges, but even if they come, and I'm sure they will, life is all about challenges. I feel now that confidence inside me that I will be able to walk through them, because life will take me through them, and there will be learning at the end of it. So yeah, challenges are welcome. Yeah. So if you say, are all your challenges over? No, the challenges are never over. I think it's how you respond to challenges. So I do feel that now, after doing all this, I feel okay. I will face them. I'll be able to.